So I'd like to call the order of the regular meeting of the City Council for July 16th and call for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Clement, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then roll call.
Mayor Jim Garavena,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Matt Hawkins,
Here.
Mark Plummer,
Here.
Connie Williams, Colette Such, here. City Clerk Mary Jane Casanetto, here. City Administrator Tim Miller,
Here.
Attorney Nubia Goldstein, here. Fire Chief Amy New, here. Police Chief Teru Vanderwill,
Here.
Community Development Director Rochelle Kellogg, here.
Okay. City Clerk's report of the agenda posting.
At noon on the 13th of July 2018, the agenda for this meeting was posted in the display cabinet in the front of City Hall.
Thank you. Item C, approval of the agenda. Is there any additions, corrections, subtractions? Seeing none, I will move on to presentations. In the presentation of the Vision Sonora Award of Excellence for the following folks and their location: Franklin and Luida Jacinto at 11 South Washington Street, Sarah Gordon at 55 South Washington Street, Dennis and Maria Oberholzer at 81 South Washington Street, and Ray and Ginger Aga at 342 West Stockton Street.
So, Mr. Mayor, in response to the letters we sent out, I heard from Mr. Aga that he would be here this evening, and I likewise heard from Sarah Gordon that she would not. I did not hear back from the other two parties that we've invited here tonight.
Okay. Well, what I would like to do at this point is invite our chair of our Vision Sonora committee, Connie Williams, to come up with me, and she can describe and present the awards.
Mr. God, would you come up, please?
Sure.
One of the things that the Vision Sonora Design and Marketing Committee put into place quite some time ago is that if any building or business owner would make the visual outside of their building more attractive, that we wanted to say thank you. And in many cases, we don't take enough time to say thank you for the good things that people do. So the Vision Sonora Award of Excellence is presented 2018 to Ray Ann, is that correct spelling?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the correct pronunciation? Ginger. Aga, 342 West Stockton Street, Sonora, for caring to improve the appearance of historic downtown Sonora.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And I don't know if any of the other award winners are here. Okay. Okay. Item E, public comment on non-agenda items. The public may address the council on any item of public interest not otherwise on the agenda that is within the jurisdiction of the city. No action may be taken. Matters to be addressed may be referred to city staff or placed on the subsequent meeting agenda. Speakers are limited to a 5-minute presentation. Mr. Fowler.
Hello, Pro Tem Mayor, Madam Mayor, City Council. Apologize for my attire. I was out swimming. Wasn't expecting an early meeting today. Came in just to grab one of your agendas. I'm the person who owns the property is on Ash Street, a small property in between Jackson and Yaney. And the garage that was built there was built below usable street level, so I can't park my vehicles in there without dragging them. So we do park on the street. And I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier to make a speech about, or my presentation I'd like to, about the agenda you addressed on the special meeting you had today as far as the parking goes, because it is something that is affecting me. And I have a neighbor who's a renter a few doors up that unfortunately complains to the city whenever I go out of town. I have to shorten my trip to come back to make sure my vehicles are safe because I don't have parking in the own area. I've been attempting to purchase a piece of property from the city that's been next to my property that we've used for the past 17 years. And I'm not sure exactly how my parking problem at this point can be resolved. I've tried speaking to the police department. They understand that it is a law that you can't park on the city streets longer than 72 hours, but with my situation, they are aware of it. I am trying to purchase a piece of property as soon as it becomes available that is next to my property. And I'm trying to avoid, if I want to go visit family or travel to town, something like that, having to make sure my vehicles are secure while I'm out of town, so I don't have to shorten my trip. So this is part of my squeaky wheel to hope that maybe we can keep things moving. I was told there was a meeting going on with the Public Works. It was on the 16th, and I'm waiting for some sort of reply, something could let me know how we're moving forward with the development of resolving interest the city has in the street property, because it is the end of the street. It's about 30 feet back, 20, 30 feet back, that I do park on. I don't know if anybody's aware of anything that's moving forward. Mr. Miller?
It's public comment, you make comments to council.
Okay, so I guess this is just a total of my
And
comment.
just so the council knows, Mr. Stiles and I have had a conversation.
I'm sorry, very hard of hearing.
I say, you and I have had a conversation, both about your citation and your right to appeal to the police department, as well as the status of scheduling the hearing. So we will be scheduling it. Hopefully we'll have some appointments tonight so we know what our committee members are. Or maybe next time.
And you do have my contact information if I can be notified when these may be?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate your help with that. Madam Mayor, appreciate all of you very much, Matt. Folks, have a wonderful evening. City, thank you so much for your help.
Thank you.
How you doing, Art?
Hi, Barbara Dressler, Sonora. And these questions are some questions regarding TCEDA. Other people I've talked to have these questions. And so one of the problems that we do have, I've contacted you, Connie, is that I'm being told that information cannot be shared with the public at this time regarding TCEDA and the issues around that because of the lawsuit. So the reason I'm bringing them up now is I was told to contact City Council, meaning the attorney, not council, but C-O-U-N-S-E-L. So I've given you a copy of these questions, and so that they can be released into a public forum. So I'll just read what I've written. Since the last City Council meeting, June 2nd, everyone I've talked to for information about Larry Cope and the TCEDA, including Connie Williams, Sherry Brennan, and TCEDA Chair John Gray have said they can't see anything about TCEDA due to Ken Perkins' lawsuit. I was directed to ask City Council and the attorney for the City of Sonora, because council is here today, I'm asking these questions now. And they're not only my questions. I know that the grand jury gave 60 to 90 days to respond, but the people I'm talking to want to know much sooner than that what is going on. And so the grand jury determined that there was improper and or illegal business practices during Larry Cope's work with TCEDA. People want to know, has the City Council now directed Larry Cope to provide documentation of his work to meet the grand jury's recommendations? And then I was not at the meeting where the TCEDA was funded, but there was something as regards that his refusal to provide documentation had something to do with trade secrets or something of that kind. So my question is a trade secret not allow Larry Cope to document the hours he's worked, the meeting he's attended with businesses, issues discussed, and specific actions taken? Until Larry Cope provides this proof, we're paying for allegations. We have nothing to document what we are paying for. Would anyone in this room pay for services they have no documentation that those services have been done. Can the council or any member of the city council or city administration tell the public what attorney fees or hours have accumulated thus far to contest Ken Perkins' lawsuit? Questions in the public domain are, why should we pay to contest a lawsuit to protect Larry Cope if he's guilty of misconduct? If Larry Cope won't tell us what he's done, how and why do we defend him? The grand jury report was released June 25th. Board Chair John Gray tells me there will be a special meeting of the TCEDA board in late July or early August to discuss the lawsuit and grand jury responses. This doesn't show urgency to address these issues. The other question is, will the public be allowed to attend that meeting? Will they be invited to that special meeting, or will it be a closed meeting, as most of these meetings have been discussing TCEDA? So at this point, the taxpayers of Sonora and Tuolumne County have been excluded from this discussion and the decision, and entirely, no member of the city council or the board of supervisors seems to have stepped up to take the lead in resolving these issues. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Excuse me. Is there anyone else like to speak in public comment?
Good evening, council members. My name is Ken Perkins. I was here about a month ago giving some information about a lawsuit that I filed against TCEDA. And the purpose of my presentation today to you is sort of a follow-up, because a lot has happened in the last 30 days since the grand jury report came out, and also a number of articles that have come out in the Union Democrat that has revealed some additional information regarding this organization, and I'd like to get a chance to give you some additional information, because I know you have some decisions to make in the future, especially regarding your response to the grand jury. I think the information that I provide will be of value, and I probably only have 4 minutes left, right? So, I think the most recent information that is germane to your decisions in the future has to do with the Innovation Lab. There was an article the other day regarding the closure of the Innovation Lab. And there were some allegations in the article regarding some individuals who felt that they were treated unfairly. They put a year's worth of volunteer work in. $22,000 were granted to the, I'll just call it EDA for simplicity. And then allegedly, these individuals who put that time in got thrown the door, right? Got kicked out, no explanations, just thank you for sharing. And you would think, okay, these are allegations, right? But this actually happened to me a year later. In 2017, I also provided an application for membership to the Innovation Lab. And I was sent down a bureaucratic pathway that no citizen could possibly comply with. And after a month going down that pathway, I gave up. But I did get a chance to take a look inside the laboratory and found that it was all the things that was being told to the public was not true. The equipment that was purchased under that $22,000 grant was eliminated. It was not there. And I found most of the offices were occupied by people who were associated with the organization. Either most of them not paying, or some paying. I don't know exactly what the truth is, but I submitted my next California Public Records Act request to TCEDA and County Council. Matter of fact, a couple hours ago, I received notification that they will comply with my request for documentation going back to 2014, in hopes to uncover the truth, how I was treated and how other people in the community were treated. There was a guest opinion in the Union Democrat about 2 weeks ago from a member of TCEDA, who said that I was invited by board members to give testimony to the organization regarding my complaints. And those go back 1.5 years. And there'll be a letter in the editor coming out in the next couple of days in which I invite this board member to give me the name of the board member and the date in which I was invited to any participation with TCEDA. There aren't any. And I'll be waiting for that answer either to myself or publicly. I wanted to get that on the record. So I understand your dilemma. You have to wait for the grand jury response. I mean, that's part of the process. I understand that. But I'm here today to say, when is enough is enough? I'm recommending that regardless of what happens in this process, that you at least get together and talk about a process in which you'll leave the joint powers agreement with TCEDA. It's very clear you've gotten zero return on your investment. No new businesses, no retention of new businesses. You've got a grand jury report that says that TCEDA has no documentation whatsoever. When is enough going to be enough? So I leave you with this. Ask yourself what has been your return. Because I think there'll be additional legal action coming in the future in which you will be party to that expense. Ask yourself, TCEDA just said in a Union Democrat that their response is they're going to reboot the robots, right? Remember a couple of years ago they had robots on their website? Wait a minute.
About 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. So watch for that letter to the editor. So I'll just get right to the end. When is enough enough? Ask yourself, have you been given enough information on who's worth keeping and who's worth letting go? You did your part as a council. Now isn't it time to look forward to the future and being done with the past? Thank you.
Is there any other? Is there any other public comment? Seeing none.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask staff if this is the appropriate time to, since I am a member of the EDA board, is this the appropriate time to ask staff to place the grand jury report on our next agenda so that we can discuss it?
It's staff's intention to bring to you at your next meeting the grand jury report because you have a 60-day time frame in which to respond to the recommendations that are contained therein. And there's actually two. There's one that pertains to the TCEDA, and there's a second one that pertains to road conditions and exploring the possibility of, through a public forum, community support for a tax measure. So we, the city attorney and myself, we need direction from council how you want to respond to those, and then we'll come back at the second meeting in August to finalize your response. And that's what your legal obligation is. Then there's the issues that have been raised by the grand jury in their evaluation of the TCEDA. And we would need direction from the council if you wanted to agendize that item, that subject for further discussion. So whether it's appropriate now or under council comments, I would defer to my colleague.
Yes, I'll concur with that. So it can be done now or it can be done later under item F.
There's
open the door, so
attorney
yes.
Well, since I brought it up now, I'd like the council's, what you all think about moving this forward and having it on our agenda. Sounds like that the plans are already there.
At least with respect to your
To the grand jury?
responses.
Yeah.
Grand jury report.
Well, it sounds like that's what we're doing. Is that what it sounds like to you?
Not only does it sound like, but I support that and think that we really need to move on that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So there we are.
So more discussion at our next meeting. Okay.
Okay. And I did ask if everyone was done with public comment. So next item is item F, consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine, and we will be voted on in one motion unless a council member or a member of the public has a question or wishes to discuss an item. In that case, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately. And the consent calendar consists of approving of the following meeting minutes. They are the City Council and closed session meeting of June 25th and July 2nd. The open session meeting of June 25th and July 2nd. Approval to pay invoices of previously budgeted expenses on July 17th. And approval of disbursements in the amount of $142,998.49 on July 6th for payroll and other related things, items. Does anyone want to pull an item?
I just have a procedural question.
When
You know, how do I vote on July 25th and July 2nd? It's not a council.
Can you give them the,
We can do one of two things. You can recuse yourself from the item as drafted because they're together, or the council can request that we take a vote upon each separate one. Either way is procedurally sufficient.
isn't if she wasn't there, but still read the minutes, that she could still, or is that
The
different?
concern is that Councilmember Such wasn't a council member at the June 25th
Okay,
meeting.
that's right. You're right. Okay.
I'll just recuse myself.
Did just recuse yourself from the entire vote, or
Yeah.
from the?
That's what you said.
Okay. All right.
It's easier.
Is there any public comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, we'll make a motion.
I move to approve the consent calendar. I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Plummer and seconded by Councilmember Hawkins to approve the consent calendar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those no, abstain.
Abstain.
Yeah, abstain, yeah. Okay. Item G, unfinished business, there is none. Item H, public hearing, there is none. Item I, new business, consideration to confirm the mayor's appointments to the city committees and government and community and government committees. Okay, I thought I heard them come on, so. I have been working on the list for a while, and I still have I didn't want to rush it, and I don't want to throw it at you blind here today. So what I propose is that for all the meetings that we might have until the next meeting that George was assigned to, that I will take responsibility, if there is such a meeting, to be that person, and if not, I will find another council member to do so until the August meeting, August 3rd, 2nd, 1st, whichever it is, the first meeting in August. And so everyone has a chance to sit down and look at them. I didn't want to throw them out there the last night.
So we just asked to decide to continue to Rocker same thing.
Okay. And then the other assignments will be
I'm sorry, August 6th.
August 6th meeting. So then the other assignments will remain as they were for the previous council members. So, and we'll continue that on to the August 6th meeting. So we'll go on to new business, consideration to designate voting delegate or delegates, an alternate or alternates to the League of California Cities Annual Conference.
So the League conference is scheduled in Long Beach in September. Friday before the conference begins is a business meeting. The city's going to have a representative there to act on any matters that come up under the business proceedings, those individuals have to be designated by the council, either by motion or by resolution. I'm not aware that anyone is planning to attend or in particular attend a business meeting. I'm not seeing the agenda of the items that are even going to come up here in the business meeting, but it's on the agenda in the event that someone from the council plans to attend.
So I guess the question is anyone thinking of attending? I don't think you'd be the most likely.
Well, the cost to attend is $525. You can pay for it by July the 18th or $575 after that. And they do have a one-day event for $300, and then it would be plus travel expenses. So that would be up to the council whether or not you even want to spend the money to do it.
Okay. Are you saying if we did decide to, if you wanted to go and we decided to give you the money, you would go? Or?
Sure. I would recommend the council.
Okay. Okay. Is there any discussion on that?
In the 2 years that I've been here, I don't remember us ever sending anybody.
Yeah, because we never spent the money to do it.
Connie, and you've been most active with this. Have you feel we missed something important by not attending?
Well, obviously, we haven't attended in the past, so therefore, our one vote probably wouldn't make any difference. But I do believe that, I've been on a couple of their policy committees in Sacramento, and I do believe that, if we sit back and don't say anything, then shame on us that we don't like what Sacramento's done. Or we attend and be part of the process and give our vote for whatever, which way that the council would direct. And at least our voice is heard. So that's pretty much the way I see it.
Thank you.
Did you?
Is there money in the budget for this?
I think the council's travel and training budget's about $500. We don't budget for this conference.
We've really not budgeted for any League of Cities activity. And what I've done with the League of Cities so far, I paid for myself. But I would, if we don't do it this time around, that's fine. But I would say to the council that your voice needs to be heard. And the only way that you can do that is through the League of Cities, which, and through our representative. So it's something that maybe the council needs to think about and give direction to staff that put money in the budget to participate. And the second thing is that all of us don't know everything about everything. And this is a place where you can learn, if you're available, that you can learn about government and especially state government and how legislation comes to pass.
Our representative representative from the League of Cities, I forget the exact title he has, Mr. Pauls. Well, let me just say before that, when I used to sit out there some years ago, it was on a fairly regular basis that someone came up, and this was before Mr. Pauls, would come up and meet with the city council and have a report. And that hasn't happened for quite a long time. I don't know if do you remember the last time that happened?
I don't recall it happening since I've been here, but I do know Steve is planning to schedule time to come to each of the councils that he represents this year.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be very helpful. Does he attend the GAC by any chance?
He does. more often than not.
And that's kind of interesting that he would attend a county chamber GAC event on a regular basis, but hasn't come to the council. And that's an interesting thing. However, I would hope that he would come up here and meet with the council.
Well, I can certainly invite him up to do that.
And maybe that's the best way for us to start the process with the League of California
I
Cities.
think that's a great first step.
So coming back to this then, I'm not sure that, well, maybe it's better for us to have a presentation. My feeling is maybe we better have us have a presentation by Mr. Qualls first before we, because we haven't budgeted money for this really. I mean, it wouldn't cover it. And just go on from there, unless someone wants to make a motion one way or the other. Okay.
What's the $500 budgeted for?
Council travel and training.
Council, I thought you said council travel and drinking.
Council
So, travel and training, okay. So it's not earmarked for anything in particular?
No.
Thanks.
So is there any other discussion?
Well, not knowing the agenda right now, I tend to favor thrift, but when I attended once with Connie in Sacramento, I think it's valuable, but Sacramento is a lot closer and a lot easier to attain without staying overnight than San Diego. So I think at this juncture, we're still better off focusing our efforts there. We also have some special lobbyists with our legal representatives, and they attend lots of those things.
We are involved with the league, heavily involved with the league, and we do attend the majority of the conferences. The distinction here, though, is that we can't step into the role of the city as a delegate to vote on particular items, but we obviously are more than happy to pass along the information that we get from the league on any particular topics.
Do we expect something for us to vote on? I mean, I don't know what I think the last time this came around, there was 2 resolutions that they wanted us to vote on. And I'm not quite sure. And
Have they,
is there something in the docket already, or is it still up in the air?
no, right now they're just asking for a delegate.
Well, you know what we could do?
And you know, this does not have to be returned until no later than Friday, August the 31st, so we still have time. So we may be getting more information. It says council action advised by July the 31st, but it says completely attach voting delegate form and return no later than Friday, August the 31st. So we could table this and see if any other information comes forth that it would be detrimental if nobody was there to voice our vote. That's one way you could do it.
And I would think they'd have something on their agenda about what they would vote for.
I don't know what their schedule is. So you can.
We'll find out.
If you want, you can continue it to your second meeting in August.
That'd probably be easier way to do it, continue.
You don't want to table it because it's a no action.
Okay, then why don't we just continue this item until the second meeting in August?
That works.
Okay, everyone agreed on that? Okay. Okay, item J, monthly reports. We did get monthly reports from the Community Development Department, Fire Department, the Police Department, and the Public Works Department. And item K is the Vision Sonora Committee report, of which there is none. Item L is the communications, which shows the business activity from April through June of 2018. If there's any comment. Okay. Item M, down to council member and department head reports. Community Development Director, Ms.
I have nothing else tonight.
Fire Chief, Amy New.
Too many papers. Then my seat, sorry. I just didn't want to get the name incorrectly, but if you hadn't seen the flags at half-mast, the governor ordered those at half-staff for Braden Varney, who was a dozer operator that was killed in the fire that's going on in Madera, Mariposa. And we've gotten a lot of calls from the public about the smoke, drift smoke coming into the city, and that's what the smoke is from. So there was a small vegetation fire on Stockton Road at the old dump site on last night about 3 o'clock, and it was a 1/4 acre, and it was contained. Unfortunately, under investigation, it came out that it was one of the homeless camp that had started the fire. So couldn't find a suspect or anyone at the time when they arrived, but they did get the fire put out. So that's all I have to report.
That's the Rotelli dump, the old Rotelli dump?
Yes, south of Stockton, just before 49.
Yeah. Thank you. Police Chief, Mr. Vanderweel.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Our esteemed council, Ms. Wilson.
Nothing tonight.
Our esteemed city administrator, Mr. Miller.
Nothing further.
Our esteemed city clerks. I'll start with Mr. Hawkins.
Nothing.
Mr. Mill, or Mr. Plummer, rather.
The same.
Ms. Williams.
I attended the Vision Sonora Design and Marketing Committee on the 10th. On the 11th, the Tuolumne County Transportation Council and Cable 8 meetings. On the 12th, we had a small working group to do with the Energy Action Plan. And if you remember, the council approved that plan. We're working towards getting it implemented. And Colette, for your, the Energy Action Plan is on the city's website. You might be interested in knowing more about that. I just want to remind the public that on July the 23rd, from 4 to 7:30, we had the downtown transit accessibility project for public comment. Since, Michelle, you didn't bring that up tonight, but I'm going to say it. And the last thing is, I noticed in the reports we're going to have coffee with a cop. And do we have a date set for that yet, Chief?
At this point, we do not, but I will have those dates by the next meeting. We were planning on the end of this month. It looks like the beginning of next month now.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Ms. Sitch.
Nothing to report.
And the other thing I really have to report is we had a LAFCO meeting on Monday the 9th, and we're going to go over some municipal service reviews, but one of the members felt that there needed to be more work that goes into them or something, and they've been told to do them again. One of them was the city's. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to come up again, whether it's next month or the month after. And then had a meeting this morning with some folks about the, what do you call it, the unsheltered group? Homeless situation.
Unsheltered Community
Kind of loose
Coalition.
work, yeah, a loose working group that's trying to deal with issues with that, and we met again today, so we will meet again another month. And I believe that is all I have.
Sorry, forgot one other thing. Didn't realize the next council meeting was August 6th, so August 3rd is the Magic of the Night. And so that's going to be coming up, and please come out to the public. We'll be selling the tri-tip sandwiches at the Fire Museum again. So, and have live music provided, since Sheila's so great at getting that event planned out for us. So she has live music for us up there as well. So I look forward to seeing everyone out there. Hopefully the weather's a little cooler.
No, really. Boy, those tri-tip sandwiches are really yummy.
Yeah, if they're early, because we're all talking about.
Do you make the
And if there's no other reports, then we'll go ahead and adjourn.